Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Kimberly Lavador. And I'm so happy that she said yes to our interview today. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much again. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. First, you are the founder of Systemize for Success and a virtual life alchemist helping soul driven entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers streamline their operations and automate marketing to align with their business goals. Using a blend of technology and intuitive strategies, you empower clients to create efficient systems that save time and scale their businesses effectively without sacrificing balance. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Kimberly Lavador.
Thanks, Caroline.
I'm so happy to talk to you today, and it is so important what you have to say, your message. And my first question is, how did your personal journey inspire the creation of Systemize for Success? And what challenges did you overcome to shape your approach?
There was quite a bit, actually. I started out in corporate and small business, worked in the mainstream workplace for just about 17 years, owned my own businesses since I was 17, helped other people run, worked in administration. So I have a lot of experience in that area. And then in 2007, I had a disc rupture in my back. It actually completely disabled me. I've had 3 surgeries since then and was unable to work. And through leaving an abusive marriage, having parental alienation happen with my 3 older boys, and then not being able to work, there's kind of a culmination of a really dark period. And my sister-in-law ran a women's empowerment magazine, and their editor-in-chief quit, just dropped the ball right before an edition was due to go out. And so I said, I'm a writer, I'm a copy editor, I can do this. And it started me into the online business world that I've now been in for 17 years. And having chronic back pain, autoimmune diseases, and having to systemize and process my life and my business so that I could do what I do, dealing with my health challenges, having children. That's how I started with everything that I do now, and how I teach people now to do that and also do it for my private clients.
Wow, I love that. Systemize your business. But the title is Systemize for Success. This is even better
Yeah.
because not every business is successful, right? You
Yeah.
need this automation, systemization, and then, of course, order and structure. And I would love to know more, of course. Can you explain how combining intuitive strategies with digital tools can help entrepreneurs streamline their operations and achieve balance?
Yes, that is the other side of me that I have embraced over the years, is my intuitive, empathic, and psychic side. I actually have a side part of that that's also on my website if people are interested in that side. And because of that, I'm able to use my intuition to hold the vision of my clients' businesses, their goals, and those little aha feelings, those gut feelings that we get when we're going down a path. It's like, is this the right one? Is this launch the right time? A lot of my clients love to use the moon cycles and the astrological cycles to enhance what we're doing. And so it's actually really fun to bring that into the business. And when we do that with technology and picking the right pieces for the right business, you're able to then automate and systematize with the technology based on your needs. It's all customized. I've worked in hundreds and hundreds of platforms. And while I have my favorites, that doesn't mean that it works for everybody. And because of being able to learn quickly, I can also choose alongside of my clients and find the right platforms and tech stacks that work for them.
Wow, I love
That's your
that.
whole
What
question.
you said 100 platforms or something, and I love that because I also love to explore new technologies as well. And what you said is so important. It it's not one fits all. You have to find the right tools for the right client, and you are the expert, of course. And then you shared something about the intuitive strategies, about the moon phases. And I never thought of it that way. When we say I don't know how you call it, when the moon is growing, then you can also grow your business at that time.
Exactly. And if it's waning, then you're kind of just in that phase of what should I do next? Is there something percolating here? And as the moon waxes and move towards new to full, there's a whole new energy in it.
Yes, there's the moon calendar and you can work with it. I never did this before. I only know that there's a good time to go to to the hairdresser or to plant whatever you plant, seeds
Yeah.
or vegetables, something like that. I
Yeah,
love
it's
that
all
approach.
interactive.
Yes. Wow. Amazing. My next question to you. What are some common mistakes entrepreneurs make when trying to automate their business, and how can they avoid them?
I would say probably the biggest one is either it's kind of it's one or the other. It's too few platforms or just not the right one or having too many, not knowing that you can pick, say, for example, your CRM that also includes your checkout pages, your landing pages. You don't have to have a whole funnel over here and a landing page here and a website here, and then it's finding things that work and not spending too much money. I'm really also on the financial side that we try to keep our budget down, so of course you can profit and not spend too much. And when you have too many platforms or too little, you're either costing yourself money in outgoing expenses or you're costing yourself money and not streamlining and automating to have retention for your clients and a really good customer journey.
Yes, that is exactly what I witnessed as well. You have too little or too many. And most of the time, when I look for a solution, then it's already there. You always had it, you just don't know how to use it. For example, last year I bought let's say, yeah, it was a system to build landing pages, and it was a recommendation, and I was a little bit angry after after I logged in and I watched this stuff. How so I created landing pages, but I thought, what next? Because I wanted to offer or create online courses as well. And then I thought it was so expensive and I cannot do this with this platform until so it took me 3 months to understand that I can do exactly this with the platform, and then I was very happy because it was already there. I didn't have to look for it anymore. Yes,
Yeah, I
that
can understand that. And it gets frustrating because you don't want to spend more than you have to. And you also don't want to spend more time than you have to. So you want to be as streamlined as possible within the amount. And I also say, don't get into a platform that can't grow with you. You can start small, but make sure that you can grow with it because eventually you will have to switch to a platform that can handle your expanding business and your next up level. So starting in one that can grow with you in the short term as you're building is really important. And then later on, when you have the money, you can switch to a larger platform.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. So when I first discovered Be Connected, we are here at Be Connected, and you are here for the first time, and it replaces 9 other platforms because you can have your online courses, and they launched a CRM like 3 weeks ago or so. And I love it because you can start for free. I have to say this because most of the people or coaches are looking for when they have video conferences or so, and here you get 60 minutes for free, which is often enough for when you start, right? So it's for free, and I love it. And this is what we are doing. We record it. This is how I started my podcast, because my challenge was, or my goal was, not to spend any money at all. So I started with zero, and I used only free platforms. And then they get to a limit. Like for example, you mentioned CRM or a mailing list. Then
Mhm.
you have these free versions where you can send to 500 contacts or so, and when you have more, then you have to pay, of course. And I found out the last 2 days because I wanted to send something, and I found other solutions that were already there, and I'm so happy for that. So thank you so much for sharing. My next question is, how do you see feminine leadership influencing the future of business systems and technology in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's a really great question. My sister-in-law and I also have another business together that is all about women's empowerment and connecting to our yonis, connecting to our inner wisdom, connecting to our intuition. And so using that in this business, which for me is very masculine. I'm very much in my masculine when I'm in my role as a virtual life alchemist. And I found that bringing in the feminine energy, and this isn't about gender, this is about energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy within us, men and women. So it's not gender specific, it's not sexual orientation, it's literally the energy that's in us, and bringing in the flow, the ebb and the flow, the listening to intuition, taking breaks, knowing that we as women burn out much quicker in that high energy, multitasking, always on. So knowing that when we can do this, we can change the whole landscape of how business is run, even for men who tend to go into burnout in a different way. And if we can all learn how to use that ebb and flow within the business landscape, wow, it can just change everything for how we work as heart-centered businesses, our culture with our teams, our culture and how we have our customer journeys and how we deal with our own clients. It can change everything.
Wow, I love what you said, and it's a very important topic about, first of all, the two energies combined, masculine and feminine. Of course, we need both, and everyone has it. And I didn't know this. I don't say either because no, I mean I was not aware of it until 2 years ago or 2022, something like that. When I thought, oh, I always suppressed my feminine side. I worked as an accountant the last 25 years or so. I had my own company with employees and I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I set the goal to tap into my feminine, and this is what I do. Like you see the flowers, so
I
I
love it.
allow myself, yeah, I allow myself to have flowers and bees, and I had never the color pink or red, for example. I didn't allow myself, or my parents said it is, yeah, it is for those princesses, but they saw me like a boy or so. So I had only green and blue color. And now it is so important what you said. Would you say it is like a holistic approach, or when you consider both energies?
Yeah, I mean, you could put it as holistic. I think it is more, it really is more connecting into your inner energy. And I actually had a mentor a couple years ago that had me connecting with my masculine. And I'm like, well, but I'm in my masculine all the time. She's like, but have you connected with him? I'm like, no. And it was this whole journaling and inner dialogue to connect. And wow, that just opened up everything, because your masculine energy come in to get things done, and then your feminine energy can take over to let you relax and kind of decompress afterwards. And how do you do it at the same time? Well, you can see behind me, I'm bringing in my colors. My purples and my greens of my branding are awesome, and they're bold, and that's what my website looked like, but I softened it with flowers in the background. I'm a gardener. I love my flowers. I love plants. I love nature. And so I bring in my nice bold, this is what I do for a living, and soften it with the more pastels and softer tones of the same colors. So there's a
Wow.
lot of ways to do it. How you have your space around you makes a big difference too.
Yes, it's so true. It's about recognizing and not pushing away, because maybe people think, oh, I'm a man, I have to be masculine all the time, but it's not true. And then something is missing, and maybe burnouts are coming from that, not living our true nature,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Authenticity is so important. Being able to be who you are and calling in your own tribe.
Yes, and you mentioned your mentor or coach. Do you have mentors and coaches for yourself? And who was the best coach you ever had?
I do. I've had them most of my inner journey life. So as I started to do my own inner healing, I would have my mentors and my coaches. I would say my sister-in-law has been the longest standing one, and so she's the one that got me to start it and recognizing how we call things in for ourselves for healing processes and learning lessons. But I would say one of my clients who we were both starting out, so we just exchanged services, and she helped me with my brand. She helped me bring the Virtual Life Alchemist to life, because I started out as a virtual assistant, and I'm like, but I'm so much more than that. That my experience and my, out in the mainstream, I'm like, that's not just what I do is administrative things. I can lead, I can guide, I can give my own. So she really was instrumental in bringing that avatar of me to life for my business.
Yeah, and you mentioned, was it the person who brought you into the women's magazine as well? Or?
That was my sister-in-law. So again, we've
Mhm.
worked together on and off for over 15 years now in all her other businesses, and my brother. They're one of my clients with their couples community. And then we have our own business, my sister-in-law and I partner in, like I said, in the women's empowerment.
I love that. I love long lasting relationships and when you work in harmony together and it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's nothing like it.
Can you share a success story of one of your clients?
Yeah, we don't work together anymore, but we stay in touch. And that's the thing. Sometimes you're together for a long time, other times it's for a season. And when I came into his business, he was just all over the place. Didn't really know what to do next, how to make everything go from A to Z. And when I came in and at least just got some systems in place for him, got calendars organized our files, started with a task project management system, which I highly recommend. It just organizes your tasks. And if you have a team, you're able to delegate much easier. And so after about a month, he was able just to take a breath and be like, this is amazing to finally have this kind of support. It not just a virtual assistant who can handle tasks, but somebody that can actually project manage me and my business because he kind of needed it in his personal life too, so that he could take breaks and he could take vacations with his family and he could do some other things that he wanted to do and not just always be in work mode, working in the business all the time instead of on his business, and be where he needed to be. And that's kind of a success story for most of my clients, is getting their gifts out there and not working in their business, but being able to work on it.
Yes, it's so important. Thank you so much for sharing to working on the business, of course. Then you can go on vacation. And I think the best is when you make yourself obsolete in your business, right? And
Autopilot
you
makes
can.
it so great.
Yeah, it's good. So I didn't succeed with that when I when I had my accounting company for 16 years. I thought I have to do it all. I have to do everything, and to I was not a slave, but so to say a slave from my employees. Because they asked the questions all the time and I had to help them. But it's a great learning, and I didn't want to do it anymore. Like, I the structure part and for other people, something like that.
I
Yes.
think some of the best moments is when my team is just doing things and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't get any questions today. Everything's just running so smoothly and everybody got their tasks done and everybody collaborated with each other for what they needed and they didn't come to me and ask. That's a success. You've
Yeah.
onboarded, you've trained well. I work with my team for a good 90 days very, very closely in their training when I'm bringing teams together for my clients. And it really is a testament when suddenly you realize you've actually gotten so much done today and nobody bothered you. Not that it's a bother, but you know what I mean by that. It's never, didn't get any questions and everybody clocked in and clocked out and everything got done. What a beautiful thing.
Yes, when everyone knows what to do next, and the questions you get are maybe about the weather or yourself and not about the task because everything is clear.
Yes.
Yes, I love it. So my next question is about your goals. Do you set goals for yourself or intentions, and what is one of your next projects?
Yes, I do set goals for myself. I actually practice what I preach to my clients. So I set my short-term and long-term goals. I have my 30-day, 60, 90, 6 months, 1 year, 5 year plan. And I'm right in the middle of finishing up my group program. For 17 years, I have worked privately, word of mouth, referrals. I didn't really need a website. I didn't really need to put myself out there and get out in front of the camera instead of behind it all the time. And so that is what I'm working on now, as you can see now, getting on podcasts, doing more speaking, launching my group program so that I can teach others how to do this. And I don't always have to be the one doing it for my clients, but I can teach people how to do it. I can help them put their teams together, can help them put their SOPs together and their processes and systems and do it in a more of a group format. So that is my project, and my next goal is finishing my book that is launching in January. It's a co-authored anthology series with 29 other amazing women. So I have that on my plate to get done first.
Oh, I love that. We will have an insight to this book. And also, I created an Amazon list for all the books of my beautiful podcast guests, like you are. So
Oh,
it will be
nice.
on the list. Yes, of course. Thank you so much for sharing. It's an amazing interview. And I think I have what was my last question is, when people reach out to you after listening to this podcast episode or interview, do you have special offers and services, and where can we find you?
Yes, I think the best way to find me is virtuallifealchemist.com or Kimberly at virtuallifealchemist.com to get a hold of me for them. Some of my resources are on my website. And if there's something that you don't see and you're curious if I have them or just want to learn what I do, you can email me as well.
Wow, I love that. And we are connected on LinkedIn as well. And here
Yes.
at Be Connected, of course, you just joined, and I'm so happy to have you because here's the network already, 27,000 people, and you can connect to the world in over 100 countries. And now is time for your final thoughts to the audience, please.
You don't know where your bottlenecks and inefficiencies are when you're inside of your business. And so even just making sure that you're auditing things and having a fresh pair of eyes makes a big difference in how you're connecting with your clients and your customers. And lastly, make sure that you leave time for yourself. Reclaim your time by automating and streamlining so that you can have set work hours, get off and go spend time doing the things that you love doing.
Wow, that is so important. Thank you so much for your message. Goes out to the world now and for our interview, of course. And please reach out to Kimberly. She's amazing. She has information and processes not many people have, and she's willing to share it with us. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
and see you in the next episode.